Right, it's time to go out and vote in Gorton and Denton. I'm sure you're all sick of hearing about it, so I'll try and be brief. Before I get started talking about this, I'm sure you've all seen the clips of the brain-dead Green Party activist dancing towards her own demise. We'll cover that shortly. I just want to show you this, though. 24 hours ago, I posted this saying I was willing to take bets on the Italian's name involved in that British student who was dragged into a bush, beaten up, and then subjected to the obvious by an Italian fella before a taxi driver rescued her because he found her staggering in the street, all crusty and that, as you'd expect. And I said I was willing to take bets. Mario Barazzi, I said 50 to 1, I'll give you for that. Luigi Fratelli, 90 to 1. Umbutu Sataweyawewo was evens. And Momo Iqbal, cousin, the obvious Rafiki, he was 1 to 3 on. 1 to 3 on. Just want to dissuade any rumours, people thinking, I'm psychic, burn me at the stake. I'm not psychic, no. I mean, I could be a professional bookmaker, but all I do is I read the news every day. So, going from stories like this, only in November last year, where a big gang of Moroccans were arrested for, again, the obvious, I was basing it off that knowledge. And sources have today confirmed that the perpetrator was indeed Moroccan. So there we go. Just don't want anyone thinking I'm like Charles Xavier, except, not crippled and shit. Anyway, let's talk about the communists dancing towards their own demise in Gorton and Denton, because if nothing else, it will afford me a grand chuckle when the people supporting the Green Party eventually get them elected, move in about another 40,000 of the cousins and the relatives, and then the Green Party candidate, who likes to dance in the streets so much, will promptly be stuffed into a bin liner, have it stapled to a head, and then be chained to the kitchen sink and released only to give intermittent gobbles to the 69-year-old imam she gets forced to marry. Nice one. All right, I'm sure those of you that are on X are sick of seeing it, but for those of you that aren't, here's the clip I'm talking about. That was, of course, Hannah Spencer. Social media is replete with pointless videos, juvenile videos featuring Hannah Spencer. Here's another one.
The Green Party is where the party's at. And look at it. Vote Hannah Spencer! Vote Hannah Spencer! Vote Hannah Spencer!
Yeah. This is why, honestly, I preferred the Bullingdon Club. This is why I like Jacob Rees-Mogg. At least back in the day, politics was a serious business. This capering simpleton, like Ed Davey on his hobby horse, it's offensive to anybody who expected standards and professionalism and focusing on the big issues. Anyone who took the great game seriously, anyone who likes history and thinks that affairs of the state are something serious and important, it does my head in. And I'm supposed to be a comedy YouTuber. Why do they make me be serious? Why do they force me to do it? Well, because they post shit like this, that's why. Look at the state of that. Like an unholy alliance between the IRA, Hamas, and Sesame Street. It's pure shite of the highest order. And this is who's running for serious election in Gorton and Denton. It's unbelievable. Anyway, X sums up neatly, so I'll show you that before I talk about my opinions on the matter. And I want to give them, because my old pal Nick Buckley's been copping a lot of shit lately that, frankly, I don't think he deserves. Right, so according to all the polling, after Labour pervert Andrew Gwynn resigned over, I love the way it says health issues. It wasn't health issues, because he's an absolute wanker and he was talking shit about all of his own constituents. So he resigned. All the recent surveys suggest it's like a three-way split. Angeliki Stoggia is about as much of a mank as Rab C. Nesbitt. In fact, no, Rab C. is much more of a mank than Angeliki Stoggia, because at least he was born and raised a mere 150 miles from Manchester. Angeliki Stoggia is a foreigner. parachute is into the area. So ludicrous that she's even in the running. The capering, gibbering idiot Hannah Spencer is on about the same percentage, and then Reform's Matt Goodwin, who banned me and blocked me on X, even though I've never once slagged him off. I must be on some sort of Reform hit list for anybody that's actually right-wing. Because God forbid the play to the base, like the Orange Oracle did, and actually want right-wing people to vote for them. God forbid. Tensions have been flaring over ethnic appeals. Ethnic appeals. Let's stop there, shall we? By ethnic appeals, what they mean is the Greens and Labour have been aggressively putting out stupid videos in Farsi and Urdu and shit, begging the regulars at the snack bar to support them on sectarian lines. It's pretty mental that they've basically all adopted the Sinn Féin tactic for drawing in the voters. It's truly bizarre. And Goodwin ran a decent campaign. He seems like he's been busy. He's out knocking doors. Again, I've never once slagged the wet wanker off, so I don't know why I'm blocked. The shit house. Except for that bit there, yeah. That does count as slagging him off. So who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? I'll tell you one thing, though. Rob Boyd and the many others like him have got the wrong of it, having a pop at Nick Buckley. He probably is only polling at 3 to 5%, but it doesn't matter, does it? Because of a thing we used to call principles. It's the principle of the matter. I mean, most obviously, Labour and the Greens votes split. So you can't have a pop at a bloke for trying to split it again, can you? That's not very democratic. It'd be a miracle for Reform to take it if the area is 2/3 lefty arseholes, and it is, because it's a third Puma trackies, a third champagne socialists and shit for brains Guardian readers, like half of Manchester is. And, a third normal people. So I'd point that out. If anyone wants to talk about democracy, at the end of the day, it'd be a miracle to get Reform in anyway. The vote is hugely split between Labour and the jihadis. So Nick Buckley is entitled to have a pop. I'd also point out that if he does take a decent amount of votes off them and they realise that they only lost because Mr. Buckley ran a good campaign and sucked some votes away from them, then maybe, just maybe, they'll stop banning and demonising people like me that call them a little bit too wet and sort of boring and centrist, and maybe they might shift a little bit more rightwards. It's a good thing if the likes of Restore and Advance and Homeland and all the other insurgent parties forcibly drag Reform to the right, isn't it? I'll stand by my prediction, which is I'm more than happy to not slag off Reform or Restore, but I don't think Restore have got a chance because the normies don't pay attention, so I reserve the right to hold my nose if the polls haven't shifted significantly a week before the next general election, if we get one, and go with Reform, because I think that's the last throw of the dice for you in the UK. I don't think Reform are right-wing enough, but I think that's all you're going to get. I think it's the whisper of the ghost of a chance of getting in an alternative to Labour Lib Lab Con, and then maybe Farage might bow to the pressure of all of his supporters, because let's be honest, most Reform voters and party members are right-wing, so it's the ghost of a chance of you getting something like a decent government that might attempt to deport some arseholes. But yeah, I'm not hopeful. I haven't been for years. I think it's going to get sorted out the old-fashioned way because the globalist sociopaths had it their own way for 25 years, imported 10 million new voters, and spent the rest of the time brainwashing a generation of people to despise anyone that's one step right of Gordon Brown. But that's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. If you want to go and have a pop at Nick, please do so in the comments. I'll pass it on next time I talk to him. Let me know what you think. Let me know your predictions for the area. It's a hard one to call, but you never know. You never know. Some white chavs might come out the woodwork and surprise us all. Fingers crossed. See you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.